Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Sacred Sisterhood podcast. Wow. Pluto finished its retrograde yesterday, and today I woke up feeling like a completely different person. The last couple of months, I think we all can resonate that we've been feeling heavy, disconnected, very emotional. There's a lot of things that have been stirred up. Our shadow aspects have come to full surface for us to deal with, for us to let go. Relationships are ending. There's karmic clearing happening. There's a lot of stuff going on. Not to mention how charged the collective is right now because it is election season everywhere. It's election time in Canada, in the States, here in Austria where I am. I don't even know where else. I mean, we're approaching Brexit here. There's a lot of stuff going on politically, as well as, we have our young activists, the environmental activists that are out there speaking their truth and really stirring the pot and just being fierce voices for humanity. I don't want to get too into that. Something that's really been coming up to surface for me is noticing how some of these activists really are feeding off of fear. And I think right now it's very important that we do our own inner work to resonate with, to be in a place of love and resonate with choose what we resonate with and leave what we don't, and choosing not to play into fear, because ultimately, as a collective, we create our future based on what we believe is going to happen, basically on our faith, right? And so the more people that feed into the fear of the world's coming to an end, we're going to die of global warming, all sorts of things, the more people that feed into that fear, the stronger the entity and the fear is around that, which darker forces use to fuel catastrophic events, apocalyptic type events, etc. So it's very important that we decide not to feed into the fear of, yes, this is a possibility, but rather choosing to pour our love into the ideal outcome, right? So I had gone a little bit into this conversation yesterday on my Instagram stories, which if you're not following me on Instagram or Facebook, I'm Mary_J_coaching on Instagram, as well as you can find me under Mary Wright, WRIGHT on my personal profile, and Mary Ends on my business page. I still am using my maiden name on there because I haven't gotten around to switching everything yet to my married name. As well as you are more than welcome to join our Sacred She Pack private Facebook group, a beautiful sisterhood of other women like yourself on the journey. So I had gone a little bit into this topic about psychic attacks, entities, and interference yesterday, but I wanted to drop a podcast about it. My podcast seemed to have been, I only create from inspiration now. Like, I do not create when I don't feel like it. And I think that's very important as we learn how to run our businesses from the feminine, that we're not forcing ourselves to create when we don't feel like it. So it seems like on Fridays, I seem to get that like inspirational hit of, okay, it's time to record a podcast. And it's happening about every other week right now. I've been going through a very, very deep process since my wedding, really since middle of July. Just a lot of really like intense physical ascension symptoms, and just I really got burnt out after my wedding. I really needed to just take care of myself, so I wasn't in a place to be creating at the high volumes I was before the wedding. So anyways, I had like this really beautiful meditation today. I am feeling so warm and connected to source, and so loved and held, and in this really beautiful co-creative dance right now. And so this message that I kind of got out there yesterday on my Instagram story, it's feeling that call. It's really brewing that it needs to come out in a platform that more people can hear it and more people can access it down the road, not just in the 24-hour window that Instagram provides for the stories. So it's no secret that humanity is going through a global awakening right now. Mother Earth's frequency has increased from the solar storms, all the solar activity that has been blasting Earth with these high frequency plasma and light codes, etc., that is shifting Mother Earth's frequency from the third dimension into the fifth dimension. Now, because we are Earth, we are nature, everything that happens to Earth happens to us. We are one big organism living on Earth. She is our home. We are shifting into the fifth dimension as well. Okay, and so there are people that have been on their journey for a while that are noticing this great shift in the collective, that the people, our family members, old friends, etc., that were very closed off to, being woke, being really aware of the greater picture behind the surface, behind what we see, behind the veil, they're starting to wake up. They're starting to see beyond the illusions. The veil is gone. The veil is very thin. It's collapsed. And so that is why in politics, we are seeing the corruption come up to full surface in order for it to be witnessed and dissolved, in order to make space for the new way of being, the new human, right? So as the globe, as humanity is starting to wake up on a global scale, the forces that are responsible and are responsible for fueling the patriarchal system, that are responsible for brainwashing humanity, for cloaking humanity from what our real power is and what our real truth is, they have increase the amount of fear programming that they are sending out into the universe in order to try to put the cloak back down. Okay, so what we are seeing, and for those of us who are very adamant about meditating every day to connect with source, clearing our channel, are really adamant about reprogramming our thoughts in order to be more in a higher frequency of being, in order to really be standing in our truth and standing in our power and holding our center, we will notice when there's an increase of psychic attack activity according to what's going on in the collective, according to how we're feeling when we first wake up, before we drop in and connect to source and meditate, right? So what probably the last few months or so, when we wake up, there's like this energetic fog over all of us of feeling confused, doubting ourselves, scarcity, feeling, old worthiness stuff coming up, just really thick energetic muck that we wake up into, and we're just wake up and we're like, WTF, what is this? And it takes a adamant practice for us, of movement, to move the stuck energy in our bodies, to make way for clearer energies, meditation, and just connecting with source, something to make us feel good, whatever, maybe it's prayer, journaling, whatever your routine is, or maybe you kind of play around with different tools every single day, as well as like hydration and feeding our body with nourishing foods, for us to break through that thick fog, to actually tap into our true essence and our truth, and the consciousness that we desire, and the consciousness that we've done a lot of inner work to achieve, right? But if we don't start our day with that, what happens is we end up anchoring ourselves into that collective grid of heavy energetic muck that has us doubting ourselves, that has us feeling out of our power, etc. And this energetic muck has been increasing, especially the last few weeks. The amount of psychic attacks have increased the last few weeks. So a lot of spiritual people, a lot of people that are woke, are very concerned about 5G coming out, because it's going to be a new frequency that goes through our minds that can reprogram our minds and continue to put the cloak over us, etc. I don't know if maybe they're sending out tester signals of 5G right now, and that's why there's an increase in psychic activity or psychic attacks. But there's definitely been an increase. And by psychic attacks, what I mean, and I don't want you to be in fear. That's what they want. They want us to be in fear, and we don't choose fear. We choose love. We choose our reality. We see beyond what is on the surface level. We see beyond the veil, right? What a psychic attack is, it's like an entity. Now, an entity don't let Hollywood mess with you, okay? Hollywood has put a lot of fear in us around what ghosts are and goblins and exorcists and all that. Don't even pay any attention to that. Yes, there are darker entities, but an entity is just an energy. It's a thought form. And the more people that give their attention to this thought form, the greater the energy that feels it and the bigger it becomes. So an example of an entity, a fear entity, would be the idea of feeling like we have to work hard and sacrifice in order to make money to just get by. That is an entity that is very alive in our collective consciousness. And because so many people believe that and buy into that, it's very strong. So it does take a lot of work to fully transcend and collapse that grid, that template in your reality, to completely, through all your cells, through all your energies, for it to completely dissipate where that no longer is alive in your being, right? So that is an entity, that idea. Scarcity is an entity. The feeling of not good enough, the idea that you are not good enough, that is an entity. So do you kind of see how that's not like super scary Hollywood little girl crawling out of the TV idea, right? I mean, you think about it, when you were a kid and you thought there was a monster under your bed, the more attention and energy and focus and that you fed into that idea, the more real it became. Right? It's because you are fueling it with your energy, with your focus, with your attention. So what's happened over however many thousands of years is that there's a cloak that's being placed over humanity that's been keeping us from seeing our power, from knowing how powerful we are, etc. And this cloak is gridded with all these different fear programmings. So what a psychic attack is when one of these fear entities, which is laced in everything around us as far as like media, in our lyrics, in TV, in movies, and just in general, like artificial intelligence just sends out these frequencies, these denser frequencies that make us feel not ourselves, that make us have ourselves doubting ourselves, etc. That's a psychic attack. So when you're feeling vulnerable, maybe you just lost a friend, or you and your boyfriend have been going through a lot of like just in a difficult patch in your relationship, or maybe you're really feeling stuck at your job and know that you need to start to make a career move, and you're just going through the whole stressful period of whatever it is. We all go through vulnerable times. When you are more vulnerable, then the psychic attack easily, a fear entity can attach into your consciousness and begin to breed and grow. It's like planting a seed in your consciousness, and then it explodes in like this fear fire in your consciousness, and you can like really easily spiral out. You could be like, oh my God, like last week I was doing so good. I was doing my yoga, my meditation. I was just like in this really beautiful expanded consciousness, feeling totally in my power, radiating my light, doing the thing. And this week I'm drowning in self-doubt and scarcity and like just feeling WTF and foggy and all sorts of things. Psychic attack. That's a psychic attack. A fear entity was seated in your consciousness and has now expanded and is blocking you. Right? So we need to pull out that plug of that seed and like pulling out a weed and kicking it out and filling yourself with light instead. Right? So there's been an increase in these psychic attacks. A lot of it has to do with just how charged the collective is right now. There's a lot of dualistic energies happening, a lot of polarity. There's just so much fear that's being flooded into the masses right now that's got people tripping the F out. And if we're not doing our own practices to safeguard ourselves from that, it very easily can permeate into our consciousness and throw us into a fear spiral, right? So this is real talk. So just like, now getting back to the entities, just like how there's fear entities of, not feeling good enough, or scarcity, or just the idea that we have to work hard to get something, we have to sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. There's also beautiful entities. My business is an entity, right? I pour my love, I pour my my passion, I pour my heart, I pour source energy into my business and expand it. That's an entity. My podcast is an entity. There's an energy around my podcast. It's laced with light codes. When I meditate, I focus putting my love and my light and my good intentions and just really gridding my podcast and episodes with certain codes and just frequencies. My Sacred She Pack Facebook group, even though that's a virtual thing, that's an entity. It's an energy community, right? So I feel like you're probably starting to get a better idea of what an entity is, and we don't need to be freaked out about it. We just really need to be mindful about, okay, what is the consciousness behind this? Is it of the light, or is it feeling denser? Is it feeling dark? If it's feeling dark, tell it to get the F out, and then ask for what you want to replace it instead. You know, if you're noticing some scarcity stuff popping up, even though you've done a lot of money reprogramming, being like, whoa, okay, this scarcity code that's laying around in my being, that's no longer mine to carry. That's of the collective. And I bless and release this. I let this go. And I call forth the abundance code within me to unlock and fully expand and just feel the frequency shift. Okay? Interference. There's been a lot of interference. So what I'm talking about interference is when people like me, when light workers, when healers, when political activists that are sharing the light are trying to get an important message out, interference comes in to try to distract us, to try to block the message from getting out. So this could be as simple as your dog starting to bark when you're beginning to channel, or when I'm beginning to channel. And so what that does then is it kind of pulls you out of that channel state, and you might lose your train of thought. Or maybe, here's one. I was receiving a beautiful healing from, I work with Minima Natoya Hall. She's based out of Toronto. She's a phenomenal healer. I absolutely adore her. I cannot say more. She's incredible. Anyways, she was channeling something for me, and what was coming through is that I'm a keeper of the trees, I'm a keeper of the wisdom codes, I am an ancient, etc. And as she was telling me this information that needed to come through for me, the groundkeeper on her apartment building started mowing the lawn right underneath her window. That's interference. Nothing happens coincidentally. Okay, don't think that things are happening coincidentally, because they're not. It's interference. Just like yesterday, when I was going on an Instagram story to talk about, just give a quick blip about what I'm talking about now, I channeled like a really beautiful message about it, and my entire story thread froze up and I couldn't post it. I couldn't share it. I had to completely shut down Instagram, reopen it to be able to get my message out, and record it again to be able to get my message out. That is interference. Okay? So that's just, there's a lot more of that happening right now. And that is just because darker forces are like, oh shit, people are waking up. We're going through a global awakening. Let's hit them with as much dark, as much interference, as much psychic attacks as possible to try to put the cloak back down. But there's too much light now. We are too aware. We are way more powerful that whatever dark that they're trying to throw at us, we're just transmuting. And that's the thing too, is a lot of us sensitive people, us empaths, as healers, light workers, way showers, starseeds, we are transmuting so much in the collective right now. You know, if you suddenly notice that you're struggling with some worthiness shit, that's not yours. That's the collective's, but it's up to you to transmute it and let it go. And by you doing so, that heals it in the collective. All right, because in order for us to heal what's going on in the collective and help support the ascension into the fifth dimension, we have to heal our own reality first and our own inner reality, right? And so when there is this belief that's coming up to surface that you don't want to carry anymore, that you don't want to play into anymore, you have to clear, cancel, dismiss, dispel it, bless and release it, whatever you do with it, do your own process to let it go and call in what you want instead, or unlock what you want instead. I lost my train of thought. I'm channeling right now, like my eyes are closed and I'm seeing like flashing lights behind my lids and etc. But sometimes I get interfered with. Whatever, it's going to come back to me. So anyways, yes, a lot of interference right now. And like, let's talk about like the different things that we have access to distract us. Think about the relationship you have with your cell phone. Things get weird when we are scrolling our phone. I'm sure you can resonate with this when you're like scrolling through Facebook and you're just like, you notice yourself scrolling through Facebook and you want to put your phone down, but you just can't seem to put it down. This happens to me more than I'd like to admit. And then it finally gets to a point where I have to like kind of throw my phone to the side and be like, ah! You know, that probably was hard on your ears. I apologize. But like literally, like me and my husband will be on our couch and we're both scrolling through our phones, and then I become really ultra aware of what's happening. I'm like, man, we're not even present for each other. I don't even care what's going on Facebook right now. I'm just mindlessly scrolling. I don't even want to read this BS that I'm reading, and I just can't put it down. And it's like this fight with your consciousness until you just finally throw your phone aside and be like, ugh, right? There's all sorts of different things like that are available for us to be distracting ourselves from the bigger picture, distracting ourselves from doing what we came here to do, or just distracting ourselves from our power, right? Like Netflix, binge watching Netflix, TV, you know, there's so many like subliminal messages in our TV, in music, and in advertisements that are programming us. That's all how they lace it all in, right? Like, I am so mindful of the music I listen to, of the TV I watch, etc. And if I'm watching a movie with my husband and there's going to be some violence, I will swipe my hand from like my crown chakra down to my root just to close my chakras, and I ask for my 12th dimensional shields of light to be placed around me, and I say, Archangel Michael, please do not allow any of this programming, any of this violence, any of these energies that are coming from the TV to permeate through my morphogenetic field. I am completely protective. I'm a safe haven of light. I can enjoy this TV show without any of it interfering with me. Use your own words. You know, I don't say those exact words each time, but that's what I have to do. As well as even when I'm like listening to music, you know, I don't listen to rap, but say if I'm also listening to a hip hop song that comes on and it's like, the lyrics are really like thug-like and really heavy and whatnot. I don't want that put in my consciousness so that I have to freaking unpack it and deal with it later. Nah, so I put up my 12D shields of light and I ask Archangel Michael to protect my morphogenetic fields, right? So it's very important that we just be very mindful about what we're taking in. You know, think of this, TV programming. You know, this program was an hour long, TV programming, you know, I think the word programming was more used like in the 90s and early 2000s when TV really was, you know, we were so excited to get a satellite dish and get cable TV, etc. But TV programming, it's a program. It programs you, right? So that's kind of all I wanted to drop in about that. We're already 23 minutes in, so I feel like the message came out that needs to come out. There's a lot of really great things coming up right now. We are doing a Wild Woman Sunday on this Sunday, October 6th at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is 5 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Vienna time. It is only 33 euros, and it is a deep, beautiful, sacred sisterhood where we're gathering virtually in a goddess circle on video call. We do a beautiful sharing, we do meditation, and we do some womb space connecting via, well, I'm going to keep that secret so that you have to sign up so you know what it's all about, but we kind of play around with some breath work and some really like beautiful sensuality to help you connect with your womb space. This is a different flavor than what I've offered in the past, so I'm really excited about it. So I will leave in the comments a link for you to check out the registration and more information on that. It's only 33 euros exchange, and it's just really beautiful when we gather together in sisterhood with the intention to heal and connect with our femininity and just connect with the goddess archetype, etc. So yeah, come check it out. We got plenty of space for you. As well as I do have a private coaching space that is opening up. There's multiple different ways for you to work with me, so just reach out. It's easy to find me if you kind of are feeling the intuitive pull, and we can hop on a video call or hop on a call and chat about what it looks like to collaborate together and how this could be really beneficial for you in these really, really potent times. So I'm sending you all so much love. This is an incredible time. Anything that I said today, don't allow yourself to play into the fear. The more people that play into the fear, the stronger the NTD is and the more destructive that is, right? So step outside of the illusion, float up above it, and ask your higher self to show you the bigger picture. What is really going on here? And choose to feed into the outcome for the highest good of everybody, the most benevolent outcome. Thank you for listening. If you feel like this was really resonant to you in this time, it would mean absolutely everything to me if you could please rate the show to help get this show out to more women like yourself. And that is all. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye for now.